Hey, what's up, everyone? How's everybody doing? You guys doing all right? Audio coming in good? You guys ready to go? Ready to get this show going? Man, it is going into week 3 already in the college football season. My name's Kyle Henderson. Thanks for joining us tonight. 205-686-3604 is the number to call in. We got a lot to break down. Finally, something really to talk about as Alabama enters their first SEC conference game taking on South Carolina. By the way, did you see South Carolina? They put up over 70 points against Charleston Southern. I know Charleston Southern, not really anything to write home about. Same thing with the New Mexico State Aggies, but I think, a little bit more to talk about this week with Alabama opening up SEC play. I hope everyone had a great Sunday. Let me know where you guys are checking in from in the comment box. I'm coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I've had a wonderful weekend. Alabama rolled past New Mexico State. I don't know if you guys knew, but I went to New Mexico State. It's so random. It's random for me, number one, to be here in Tuscaloosa. And it's random that New Mexico State would come up to play in Tuscaloosa. So New Mexico State got drilled, as we figured we would, and Henry Ruggs caught that first play and took it 75 yards to the house. It's actually counted as a run. So here's the question of the day as we get moving forward. And you can, of course, call in the call-in line, 205-686-3604. I'll open the lineup in just a second. Question of the day is actually, are you impressed with the running game? Let me know what you think. I want to get your take on the running game because it's it's interesting to talk about, because Brian Robinson, Najee Harris, they're not running for a ton of yards. They're not doing a ton of damage, but they're still averaging, some significant yards per carry. So on the show tonight, we will talk about the grades against New Mexico State. We will look at the Pro Football Focus grades from week 2 against New Mexico State. We'll look at the stats, kind of an overview from the first couple weeks. We'll take your calls, of course, at 205-686-3604. I'm just going to leave the call-in line open right now if you want to call in and let me know what you guys want to talk about. Remember, it's your show, but the question of the day is simply this. Are you impressed with Alabama's running game under Steve Sarkisian? I mean, I don't know. Let's dive right in. First off, let's look at the stats from Alabama's 62-10 victory over New Mexico State. Have the stats on the screen. Tua Tagovailoa, once again, electric, 16-24, 227 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, passing rating of 187.4. Mac Jones got in as well, 5 of 9, 58 yards with 1 touchdown. That touchdown that he threw was an absolute rope, by the way. But we still, it's a small sample size for Mac Jones, right? We still got to see him as we move forward. But from yesterday, I mean, he did all right. And we'll look at the Pro Football Focus grades here in just a second. Rushing wise, for the second straight week, it's a freshman that leads Alabama in the rushing categories. Now, last week against Duke, it was Jerome Ford. This week, it's true freshman, Kellen Robinson, who had 5 attempts for 80 yards. That was a 74-yard touchdown. It looked like he was a shot out of a cannon. And as Nick Saban said, he's got the juice. So Kellen Robinson with a big touchdown run. It was a great shot that Alabama actually captured of Pierce Quick, who's another freshman, hoisting Kellen Robinson up in the air. So it was a big-time run by a big-time freshman. Henry Ruggs actually had 75 yards rushing. That was the first play from scrimmage. They labeled it a catch, but you can clearly see he's behind the line of scrimmage. So 75 yards rushing for Henry Ruggs. And by the way, you saw on social media that he clocked out at 23 miles per hour. That's just blazing. I think he hit 24 miles per hour, and I think he could probably get close to 25 if he really had to. Najee Harris, 12 rushing attempts for 68 yards. Brian Robinson, 11 carries, 57 yards. Now, it's interesting because it doesn't look like those guys are doing a lot of damage. It seems like they're not completely getting the maximum of each rep. But when you look at the average, it's still 5.7 for Najee and 5.2 for Brian Robinson. I think any college football program in the country takes those averages. And as you can see up in the top right of your screen, Alabama still ran for 318 yards. So the running game, it might not be impressive, but it's oddly efficient, if that makes sense. Receiving wise, Jerry Jeudy, 8 receptions, 103 yards, 3 touchdowns, targeted 12 times by Tua Tagovailoa. Devontae Smith, 4 receptions, 47 yards. Henry Ruggs, 4 receptions, 66 yards. Jalen Waddle, 2 receptions, 52 yards. And Najee Harris caught a reception for 12 yards. And now as we look at the total stats, Alabama had over 600 yards of offense, 285 yards through the air. Penalties were down 4 from last week. Last week they had, I believe, 8 for 88 against New Mexico State. They had 4 for 35 on third downs, 7 for 14. Again, they were 50% on third down conversions, and inside the red zone, most importantly, they were 100% for the second game in a row. As we look at the defensive stats, you have Xavier McKinney, who had 6 total tackles. He was actually playing the star position, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but Jordan Battle, he's now number 9. He switched numbers this coming week, and he actually started. So you had Alabama started 4 freshmen on the defensive side of the ball against New Mexico State. He had 5 tackles. Raekwon Davis had 6 tackles. Shane Lee, who's another true freshman at the inside linebacker position, he had 5 tackles. Trayvon Diggs, 4 tackles. Ali Cajo got in there, and we'll talk about him in just a little bit. He had some very good grade outs from Pro Football Focus. DeMarco Helms, King Wakuda, Byron Young, a lot of guys getting in there as freshmen. And as you can see, those are the stats. So here's how things look after 2 weeks of play for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Tua Tagovailoa is 42 of 55. 76% passing, 563 yards. He now has over 5,000 career passing yards at Alabama, 10.2 average, 281.5 yards per game, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. Longest of 39, he's been sacked just once. Quarterback rating 204.3, which is ridiculous, honestly. Putting up those type of numbers is absolutely incredible. He just continues to be productive, and I want to talk about more of his efficiency as we move forward. Najee Harris, 24 rushes, 120 yards, and as you can see, 5.0 yards per carry. 19 is his longest. He has 1 touchdown. Kellen Robinson has 85 yards. Obviously, a lot came from that 74-yard touchdown. Henry Ruggs up in there because of his reception as well. But Jerome Ford has 69 carries, and this is kind of interesting. Brian Robinson has 20 carries, 66 yards, which is just a 3.3 yard per carry average. As we look at the receiving stats, you have Jerry Jeudy, 18 receptions in 2 games. My goodness, 240 yards, 120 yards per game, 13.3 average, and that's a lot different than last year. Last year he was like 18 per catch. So I think the efficiency, these small passing trees created by Sarkisian has allowed him to get more touches, keep the offense moving. And I mean, how many touchdowns is this young man going to catch this year? 4 already in 2 games. Jalen Waddle has 7 receptions, 142 yards. Devontae Smith, 10 receptions, 101 yards. And Henry Ruggs, 6 receptions, 80 yards. Miller Forrestall, 2 receptions, 33 yards. Brian Robinson, Najee Harris, Jerome Ford, Major Tennyson, Giles Amos all have 1 reception as well. On the defensive side, Xavier McKinney leads the team in tackles with 14, 1 forced fumble. Raekwon Davis, 12 tackles. It's kind of interesting. Raekwon Davis still searching for that first sack in 2019. Shane Lee, true freshman, 11 tackles. Anthony Jennings, 9 tackles. He's been having a big year, Anthony Jennings. LeBron Ray, 7 tackles, actually got a quarterback sack against New Mexico State. Christian Harris, 7 tackles, had just 1 tackle, which was kind of odd against New Mexico State on Saturday. Trayvon Diggs, 6 tackles, 1 interception. Patrick Surtain playing absolutely lights out. 5 tackles, 2 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles. All right, so those are your stats going into this season. Thanks for joining us, everyone. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Call-in line is open, 205-686-3604. Here is the question of the day. Are you impressed with Alabama's running game? Yes or no? I mean, 318 yards rushing, I mean, it's pretty impressive, but it just seems like it's not efficient, if that makes sense. I can't really pinpoint it. Is it Najee? Sometimes it almost seems like he's not completely accelerating. It's really strange. And then Brian Robinson, only 3 yards per carry, but he still is efficient as well. Over 5 yards per carry last game. So let me know. I want to hear from you. 205-686-3604. And we got our first call of the night. Here we go. All right, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling from?
Hunter from Harpin, Alabama.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. What's on your mind? Go ahead.
Good. I was just getting. What was your opinion this week on the defense? I think sometimes we look kind of slow, and then on other parts we actually look pretty good. So I just didn't really know what to think after the game.
I mean, it's really tough to gauge against an opponent like New Mexico State, and it's tough to gauge against an opponent like Duke. I mean, I think from the secondary perspective, I think they're still trying to play with the best, set of five for that nickel package back there. I think the inside linebackers have done a good job. I've been really impressed with Shane Lee. I think the outside linebackers have been the strength with Anthony Jennings and Terrell Lewis. Still not really. It's still too small of a sample size from the defensive line. I think Raekwon Davis, I would like to see more pass rush production from him, but I guess we'll see against South Carolina because, as you know, they put up over 700 yards against Charleston Southern.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see when Justin Bogbay comes back, when he gets, when he's healthy for sustaining that injury, what he can provide along the defensive line, as a pass rusher maybe. So I don't know. I just think sometimes sometimes through the last two games have been kind of inconsistent, but at other times in importance of the game with different combinations of guys, we look very good.
Yeah. I think you bring up some good points, and I think a guy like Justin Bogbay could bring an added element to the pass rush. I do like what I see at the corners, and I feel much more confident when Trayvon Diggs and Patrick Surtain are your corners rather than Trayvon Diggs and Josh Jobe. I think we all saw that Josh Jobe still struggles with man-to-man coverage, and we saw that against Duke. Hopefully that improves moving forward. But I do like the combination with adding Battle back there at safety along with Maiden, and then swapping Xavier McKinney to that star position. So I guess we'll have to see the defense as we move forward, but still a small sample size. I mean, and the defense has only allowed 13 points. So I know they haven't played incredible competition, but let's see what they can do against South Carolina, who obviously was very productive against Charleston Southern. But thanks for the call. Please call again next time.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. All right. I don't know. What does everyone think about the defense? Let me know. I mean, has the defense impressed you? I think the defense has impressed, but like I said, I mean, it's a small sample size against teams that aren't necessarily that good. Is South Carolina good? I don't know. I mean, they lost to North Carolina in week 1. They don't have their starting quarterback. Looks like they'll be, starting a young gun. Got another call coming in. All right, good evening. My name is Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Austin, and I'm here in Webb City, Missouri.
That's good. How are you doing today? How was your Sunday?
Oh, pretty good. Watched my freaking NFL team, Chargers, win in overtime, which is pretty crazy to watch.
Yeah, I saw Phillip Rivers was rather productive today. So what's on your mind, man? Go ahead.
I was cool on talking about that secondary, and the little things that I noticed that will probably be really, really productive in the future was kind of like Trayvon Diggs, Patrick Surtain, just them actually like looking back and looking for the ball, because I know they've struggled, trying to find the ball, and that's the cause of most pass interferences. But they've been really good the past 2 games of looking back for the ball, and once they did, those were interceptions.
Yeah, I think both of those guys are really strong corners for Alabama, and I think if Alabama is playing in a critical matchup, I think those are your best guys at corners. I think when you play teams that have much more athleticism on the outside, such as, let's say a Georgia or a Clemson, or, I don't even know, maybe even an LSU, the way that they were throwing the ball last night against Texas. I mean, I think those are the type of corners that you want, because can you imagine if you have Trayvon Diggs, Patrick Surtain, and then you have Xavier McKinney out at the star? I mean, that's a really good combination of guys that can lock up receivers, big physical guys. So I think you're right on point with that. I mean, Surtain is an excellent corner. I think he's one of the better corners in all of college football right now.
Yeah, and Tua, what I've noticed is pretty awesome to see first game how he changed passing leading up to his second game. Also, just giving, taking what the defense gives you, and he hasn't been taking a whole lot of deep shots. Probably like one a game or maybe two here and there, but not like it was last year. I mean, he's actually playing like a legit NFL quarterback, and I'm excited to see what he does throughout the whole year.
Yeah, I'll answer on the other side, but thanks for calling in. Please call again next time, okay?
No problem.
Yeah, I think last caller is right. I mean, the way that Tua has been playing and the way that he's been spinning it is certainly NFL worthy. And I think a lot has to do with the fact that Steve Sarkisian has implemented this short passing tree that I've been talking about, getting the ball out to the receivers and letting those receivers do the job in space. A lot of short range passes. There's been a couple balls that Tua has missed on, a couple deep balls that have been overthrown. But I think overall the efficiency has been excellent. So really been impressed with what Tua's done throughout the first 2 weeks, and I think he's only going to continue to have strong success with Sarkisian. I think it's clear that those two have a really good connection, and how can things go wrong with the amount of talent that they have on the outside, right? I mean, everybody has to eat on the team, as you know, and Jerry Jeudy has been just shining. I mean, who's going to stop in? Keep calling in 205-686-3604. If I miss your call, just call right back. I'll do what I can to get you on the line. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson coming to you from Tuscaloosa. Thanks for subscribing. And I know there's a lot of new subscribers to our channel. All the coverage back at BamaInsider.com. Each Sunday, I write $10. Oh, we got a... appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat, man. Really, really appreciate it. Each Sunday I write a 10 takeaways and kind of just overview what I saw from the game and just really dive into it. So you can check that out on BamaInsider.com. Got a call coming in. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi, Kyle. This is Jason. I'm from way up in Alaska, but born in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I think you're our first caller from Alaska. I know, first of all, thank you for calling. We used to get, last year we have a strong Hawaiian following, but I had to move my show to the evening because everyone was, they were sleeping in for the show. So thanks for calling in tonight. How was your Sunday?
It's going pretty good. All
right. So what's on your mind, man? Go ahead.
Well, I guess I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on the offensive line. I don't know if you ever, watch kind of the playback on YouTube. They'll have these condensed games where you can just see all the plays. And it's like Tua's displaying the most amazing pocket presence I've just about ever seen because they can't block anybody with this line. I know it's a young line. I know we're going to get Brown back in a couple of weeks, and I'm glad that we have some time for them to get adapted. But they're not giving him any time to throw. With all the talent we have, it just seems crazy just how little time Tua has.
Yeah, you know what? While you're on the line, I'm actually going to pull up the grades on Pro Football Focus, and we'll actually look at the offensive line grades so you can see the grades for yourself. So right now on the screen, you should be seeing the offensive line grades. So just stay with me. So Alex Leatherwood did great in pass blocking. He was graded out at an 81.9. And if you're new to Pro Football Focus, former college coaches, NFL coaches, they break down the game right away. But you're exactly right. And the stars indicate the starter. So if we highlight Evan Neal, who's down at the bottom row, he's number 13. He actually had a pass blocking grade of 39.1, which is really unacceptable. And, Matt Womack, who's just ahead of him, who's a senior, his pass blocking grade was 54.3. So you really have to clean that up as we move forward. I mean, Evan Neal, 2 weeks in a row, he has really struggled. The week before that, Chris Owens did. So I think they're trying to figure out the best group of 5 to protect Tua. But there's been a couple times where he's had a clean pocket, but there's been a couple other times where, he's just had to do what he does and get the ball off to his wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, it's, obviously I know they're young, and they obviously, if they're at Alabama, they're extremely talented. But, man, they're just giving them no time at all.
Anything else?
But other than that, I think the team looks great. If you can get Josh Jobe to turn around and look for the ball instead of tackling people. But hopefully his confidence isn't shot. Touchdown got called back from him last game, too, on that kickoff, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Kick return.
Yeah, it was a legal
Hopefully he didn't
procedure.
lose his confidence and still got support there, because he's obviously a real talented athlete that probably just needs just that little bit to put it all together.
Let me ask you this before you go. What have your thoughts on the running game? Have you been impressed with the running game? Has it? Has it been? Because it seems like it's been oddly efficient, if that makes sense.
I think it goes back to the offensive line, but everybody keeps saying that Najee's not following his blockers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Brian Robinson, he's put in there for those gutty yards, and I think that's probably why his stats are a little bit down. But I think it's a young offensive line, man. I think that the runners they don't have confidence in it, so they're trying to break to the outside. But I'm not
We're not
qualified
coaches,
to really
right?
talk
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. But the good news is for Alabama fans is Deontay Brown comes back after the fourth game of the season, which I think will provide some more experience up front. And I think once these guys start to develop some sort of cohesiveness, some camaraderie, that the offensive line will be better for it. But right now, I think you bring up a great point that the pass protection definitely does need to improve. So I appreciate the call, and please call again.
All right, thank you. Have
All
a
right.
nice day.
First call in from Alaska. Wow, how about that? All right, 205-686-3604. Question of the day, are you impressed with the running game? Let me know. I don't know, it's over 300 yards rushing last game, but, is it efficient, right? I'm curious to get your thoughts. And any other holes? I mean, I think on the offensive line, I think the offensive front at times, just like, the last caller said, hasn't been up to par. And Evan Neal, I think he's done a good job, and at times he's certainly struggled. All right. Good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
What's going on, Kyle? This is Jared from Buffalo. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? You're coming in a little bit muffled. Maybe just clean it up just a little bit.
Just a little bit? Am I a little better or no?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. Man. Yeah, I was actually going to talk about the offensive line and the running game a little bit there. That was pretty much my only concern there.
Yeah.
But just to leave it on there, I definitely think that inexperience. I think inexperience is a huge factor. I just think that because of what happened last year. I think with last year, with pretty much everybody moving around. Well, at least for this year, everyone's moving around. Leatherwood, he's kicking out to the left tackle position instead of being guard, because I think that Leatherwood will be a better guard. In my opinion, at the tackle position. Even though, yes, Leatherwood's going to be a first-round talent. I think he can play either position in the NFL because of just his size and just his intelligence. But I think with him being kicked out at left tackle and just the inexperience inside in both the guard positions and the center position, that's just definitely leaving, as a former person that used to play line, as far as just communication, and as far as, attention to detail, that really does screw up the offensive line, and that really does screw up the flow. So I definitely think that with all the injuries with the offensive line and just people just coming in and out of the rotation and just not having it set, that is really messing up the offensive line. I think their flow, and I think it's really disrupting their confidence. So they're going to have to clean it up. Of course, South Carolina, that they're not Clemson, but it's a very, very talented defensive front. With 4- and 5-star guys out there, that's way better than New Mexico State and Duke, and guys that can, and they do have players that can disrupt inside and definitely push back some linemen. So, they're gonna have to get that cleaned up, man. That's for sure. They're definitely gonna get that cleaned up.
Now, on the positive, you're getting reps and you're getting experience to some of these younger guys. Like, for example, a guy like Darian Delcourt. Keep him in mind. I think he has a tremendous future. Same with Pierce Quick. I mean, I'm not sure how much time that those guys are going to get moving forward. I mean, a lot of guys are going to get in against a team like New Mexico State or Western Carolina later on in the season. However, I think those two guys getting experience is very valuable. I think Evan Neal is only going to improve. I mean, Kyle Flood is a great offensive line coach, so I think when they go back, they look over all these things, they're going to only get better. And then one of the other players that I've been really impressed with is Landon Dickerson. I thought he did well in the first game at guard. I don't know how he did at center. I don't know how I feel about him at center. And then you also have to remember that Emil Ekiyor is going to come back. So you have Emil Ekiyor coming back. Saban said he's week to week. You have, as I said just a minute ago, Deontay Brown's coming back. So the offensive line, it might not be what Alabama wants it to be right now, but I think they do have the components to get something solidified before that Texas A&M game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what else is on your mind, man? What any other takeaways from Saturday's game against New Mexico State?
My boy Will. My boy Will, man. My boy Will Reichard did his thing. I know, kicked the 47 and 49-yard field goal.
Yep.
Had a lot of confidence in that. I think that'll be clutch. But hey, I don't like to move forward, man. But I know we talked about the LSU Texas game. I know we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. That again, it didn't shock me the way. I know it shocked a lot of people the way how LSU moved the ball with Joe Burrow. But that's something that that's a game November 9th, or I think they moved it up a little bit. That's a game to definitely look out for now, man.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, I mean, people were talking about him last year. We went, I went down with Tony Tsoukalas to Baton Rouge, and Baton Rouge, I'm telling you, was the craziest experience I've ever been to in terms of like my SEC experiences. And I don't know, Alabama continuing, like they just ate him up. I mean, he didn't do anything, right? I mean, the past 2 years, LSU hasn't done anything. So they did look good last night. I mean, let's see if they can continue that momentum. And I mean, certainly LSU and Alabama is always circled on everyone's calendar. So I appreciate the call as always. Good luck to your Bills. I know you're a big Bills fan, man. So I'm always thinking of you.
We won today. It was a struggle win, but I don't care. I'll take the dub. Take the dub.
Just win, baby, right? All right, man. Well, please call again next time. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling, man.
All right. As always.
All right, yeah. All right, yeah. Yeah, so I have to, a lot of people, this Hawaiian lei is very special to me. It's from Mitch in Hawaii. Gave it to me last season. It was very nice. Sent over some Hawaiian chocolates. And, I mean, I've made so many great friends on the show, so it's awesome, man. Another call coming in. Here we go. All right. Good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Tom from Calera.
How you doing, Tom? How was your Sunday?
I'm good. I just want your opinion on freshmen. Everybody's talking about the freshman linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion on the freshman DJ Dale? And I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah. DJ Dell, I think he's a guy with incredible upside. In fact, let's bring up his Pro Football Focus grade. These are the receivers. Here we go. All right. So Pro Football Focus, as I said, is former coaches who at the pro level, at the college level, they break down these games. They're in attendance, and they do a great job. So DJ Dell, as you can see, is the second player on this list. And look at the grade. I mean, 78.3 overall. Run defense grade, 76.9. Tackle grade is 72.4. So I think overall, DJ Dell is doing a really great job early on for Alabama. I think he's a guy with tremendous athleticism, and I think that's one of the key attributes that keeps him on the field, keeps him fresh, and keeps him chasing quarterbacks. I'm just amazed every time I watch DJ Dell at practice. He's just up there. He's been repping with the ones really since the springtime, and he's a guy, and I've said it again and again, who got here in December of 2018. So think about all that time that DJ Dell has had. And our team writer, Tony Tsoukalas, did a great job writing a feature about, kind of the backstory and what goes into his training regimen. All right, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, Kyle, this is Curtis in Austin.
How you doing, Curtis? How was your Sunday?
Pretty good. How about yours?
Oh, it was great. Thank you very much. I had my father in town from New Mexico, so we were
cool.
Yeah, we've been enjoying the heat. I mean, the heat over here. I don't know what the weather is in Austin, but in Tuscaloosa,
it's hot. It's like 101.
Yeah. So same temperature over here. But
did y'all get to go to the game?
Yeah. So my father, my father and my son were able to go to the game. I, of course, have to work some up in the box. But they went and got to share a special moment. Got to see Alabama play my alma mater, New Mexico State, which was so random.
That's really that's funny, isn't it?
It's so funny. So what's on your mind today? Go ahead.
I wanted to take issue with all the people before the season saying that Tua was injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
He had 3 freak occurrences.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Luck is injury prone. Every year it was an ankle, a shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
But he's not injury prone. I mean, I don't think. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I almost jumped on that bandwagon for a little while, so I was almost guilty of it as well. And I think what happened is as soon as I heard that his hamstring was tight, I think when he was supposed to throw at that Manning Passing Academy this summer, and then he pulled out because his hamstring, then I was like about to jump on that injury-prone bandwagon. But I don't know. Those have been some freak injuries. I mean, even dating back to when he hurt, like it was his index finger that he had to have surgery on.
I mean, he's built like a brick outhouse,
and he is, and his lower half. That's
I mean, to me, he's not injury prone at all. I thought it was, like you said, everybody jumping on the bandwagon of 3 freak occurrences was all that was. But that's all I had to. Oh, and how about Will Reichard? He kicks the air out of the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, he had.
He kicks angry.
He does. So he had 11 kickoffs, and 9 of them were touchbacks. That's great news. But the even better news, obviously, is the fact that he kicked a 49-yard field goal and a 48-yard field goal. But this is the weird part. Last week in week 1, he missed a 48-yarder and a 49-yarder. So what are the chances that he gets
but, I mean, a foot the other way and he makes those, And, I mean, the way he hit them, that would have been good from 55, 56.
Yeah, I think, when you look at all these freshmen that are playing for Alabama, Will Reichard certainly plays one of the more pivotal roles because the kicking game has to be buttoned up as we move forward into the middle part of the season. I mean, you want to have that confidence with Will because he kicks off, he's a field goal kicker, and he also punts as well.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with him, Kyle.
Yeah, me too.
All right, thank you for taking my call, Kyle. I love your show. I love the way you're putting the graphics when Saban has his press conferences. That really, I mean, to the viewer, that keeps us more engaged, being able to look at the schedule and listen to him and the other YouTube channels, the cameras are all shaky, and you feel like you're going to get sick while you're watching it. And yours is perfectly still, but you're doing a good job, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me.
Take care, brother.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Good calling. Austin's obviously a great city. Now, I have to apologize to everybody. I had a graphic error in this last graphical overlay on Saban. It was just, it happens. I put the score for Duke 41-17, so it won't be my last error. I'm obviously human, so my bad on that. I will get better. I've already fixed it, and that'll be buttoned up for Monday. So my bad on that. Just an error, but it happens to all of us. So we'll continue to move forward. But Saban was, he was coming with it last night, right? He had a lot of fire last night from Saban. All right. Hello, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Tony from Birmingham.
Hey, what's up, Tony? How was your day today?
Hey, doing well. You doing good?
Oh, yeah. Had a strong Sunday. Feeling good.
Excellent. What is your take, and I didn't see on the graph that you put up, what did the tight ends grade out at? That's where I see some of our weakness on the offensive line is tight end blocking. They're not. I don't think they blocked very well Saturday.
Let me see. I'm pulling that up right now. All right. So Major Tennyson had a pass blocking grade of 16.4. Yuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see if I can find Miller Forrestal on here for you. If I can't find it, I'll locate it and bring it back up. But Miller Forrestal, I thought for the most part he's done a good job. Let me see if I can find it with the receivers. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I can't find it right now.
That's okay. Yeah.
I think, I'm not sure what to take away from Major Tennyson. I think he's one of those guys in a small sample size for me. I think with Miller Forrestal, I do like what he brings to the table. He's not a down and dirty guy like Hell Hentage was. Like Hell Hentage was always downfield, making some big time blocks for some of these guys. But Miller Forrestal, I think he's a guy that he's dependable. You saw what he did in week 1. He's a guy with a lot of confidence. He's very high IQ, but I don't think Alabama really has that tight end that is dynamic. Now, I think Jahill Billingsley could be that tight end that could be dynamic. He's a freshman, got on the field a little bit in this last game, but I don't think they have a tight end that they can really rely on that can truly be a playmaker. Now, they might not need that, but they will need it next year, and I'm hoping that it's Eric Gilbert. I don't know if you guys have been following Andrew Bowen's recruiting, but Eric Gilbert is a 5-star tight end that I think could come into Alabama and start day one next year at the tight end position.
Outstanding. Well, outside of that, I mean, I've got to believe that we're not running a wide open playbook just yet. I think we are keeping some stuff vanilla. I think we'll always do that, and in case we need it, and we obviously haven't needed it. So I think there's a lot of hope here. The only thing that concerns me moving forward is injuries. I mean, it's that way just about every year. It's going to be hard to, we've already lost 3 linebackers, and that's hard to get by. That's hard to get over. So we're just skating on thin ice there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those young guys in the middle certainly got to grow up fast. Really like what we saw from them in week 1. Week 2, I mean, it's tough to gauge because of the quality of competition against New Mexico State. But Shane Lee, I've been really impressed with him. I think, he's obviously a thumper, as Saban likes to refer to him as. And Christian Harris, he did a good job in week 1. These guys are going to have their hands full against South Carolina. They got 2 very talented running backs. Each ran for over 100 yards last week and the week before. So it's going to be tough. Columbia is going to be an interesting place for those guys to get their feet wet.
Well, let me ask you one other question, Art. Do you think teams moving forward will try to keep Alabama in a dime package to keep players like Christian Harris off the field as well? Do we lose anything there, in your opinion, as far as tackling goes at the point of attack?
That's an interesting question. I do think this is what I know. Against New Mexico State. Now, I like the nickel package that they were in, with how they moved Xavier McKinney to star, and then you had Surtain and you had Diggs at the corner positions. Now, are they going to try to keep Christian Harris off the field? They could, because Christian Harris is a guy with good coverage ability. But I don't know. I mean, that may be a strong point of attack. We might see that this coming Saturday against South Carolina, but I'm not sure what the game plan is going into that for South Carolina. I would like to go at those freshman linebackers and see what they can do. Because I think if Alabama goes into this game and they have Surtain and Diggs on the corners, I mean, that's a tough matchup. Those are some big cornerbacks, 6'2", 200 pounds. Those guys are tough to get around. And then when you put Xavier McKinney at that star position, that's a very good secondary.
I agree. Well, hey, keep up the good work, man. I love your show.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Bye-bye.
Call line is open, 205-686-3604. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. You can catch me on Twitter, Rivals_Kyle. My email is Kyle@BamaInsider.com. If you want to head over to BamaInsider.com, become a premium subscriber. Promo code for free 30 days is simply Roll Tide. Then you can catch up with me every single day. That's where I'm at. Every single day, all the time on BamaInsider.com. Let's look at those grades while I wait for our next call in. These are actually the grades on Pro Football Focus. Start out with Tua Tagovailoa. Overall grade on the offensive side was 84.6, 79.3 passing, 16 of 23 for 227 yards with 3 touchdowns. Mac Jones, 59.3 grade out. 5 of 9, still a small sample size, like I said. And that touchdown that he threw was an absolute laser, if you saw it. Here's some running backs, right? I mean, pretty good. I mean, nothing really to complain about. Najee Harris, 72.9. Brian Robinson, 72.9. Tua, he had that long touchdown run, so his rush grade is pretty high. Kellen Robinson, high rushing grade. Even Henry Ruggs up in there because of his long touchdown run. I don't know what to make about the offense. Maybe the offense is fine. Maybe we should just move forward. I mean, I can't put my finger on it. Here are the receiving grades. The star indicates if the player started in this particular game. Devontae Smith targeted 4 times, 4 receptions, 50 yards. Very productive player. Jerry Jeudy, targeted 12 times, 8 receptions for 103 yards with 3 touchdowns. Henry Ruggs, targeted 5 times, 4 receptions, grade out of 83.7. And if you missed it on social media, Jeff Allen posted that Henry Ruggs hit 23 miles per hour on that opening touchdown for Alabama. Some of those younger guys, like Saban said, the twos really need to improve, and that reflects on their grade. Look at Jahill Billingsley, 58.8. John Mechie, who's a freshman, 56.6. Terrell Shavers needs to pick it up, 47.1. Targeted 2 times. And now he's a redshirt sophomore. And I think he's a guy who a lot of people are expecting him to step up. Here are the offensive line grades in total. I'll leave this up for just a second. Again, the star indicates if the player started and what position at. The sum is the total of snaps that player played. And then on the far right, you have the offensive grade, pass blocking grade, the run blocking grade. So if you look at Alex Leatherwood up at the top, you see that he started at left tackle. He played a total of 55 snaps. 31 were on pass blocking plays, 24 on run blocking plays. Overall grade, 90.5. Pass blocking grade, 81.9. Run blocking grade, 90.3. So that's an exceptional grade out. That would be all SEC, for example. A guy who's on the come up would be Darian Dalcourt, who's that second player in line. He's a true freshman. Pass blocking grade, 77.0. That's what you'd like to see. Landon Dickerson had a strong pass blocking grade, 76.3, but his run blocking grade needs to improve. Again, he was at that center position, 56.8. Let's continue to move down. Pierce Quick, another true freshman, 74.6. Kendall Randolph, 74.6 as well. Pass blocking grades. Tommy Brown, who's a redshirt freshman, 73.8 pass blocking. Those are good grades for some of these younger guys. Now, I know it's against New Mexico State, but it is what it is. I mean, they're still getting graded out. Jedrick Wills, 68.8 pass blocking, 77.3 run blocking. So the right side of the field is probably where Alabama wants to run, being that those guys had a good run blocking grade. Matt Womack, I watched Matt Womack, and his pass blocking grade isn't that good, 54.3. It's not good at all. But his run blocking grade is good, so 75.0. So has Kyle Flood figured out the best 5 offensive linemen? Probably not, but Alabama's going to figure it out. And as I said earlier on the show, Emil Ekiyor will be back at some point, and so will Deontay Brown. So there's hope that Alabama will develop that strong 5, and most importantly, a lot of these guys will get reps. Here's the defensive grade outs. As you can see, the highest graded player was actually Christian Barmore. Now, granted, he only played in 21 snaps, but I think this is a good note because a lot of people have been waiting for Christian Barmore to really come along, myself included. 86.7 with the run blocking or rush defense, which is very important because you want that, he's a big dude. He's 6'5", 300 pounds. I think Barmore could have a bright future. Other guys who graded out well, Patrick Surtain, of course, at the corner position, we talked about him, 84.0 grade out. His open field tackling ability is incredible. Jared Maiden had a good open field tackle grade, but his defensive grade overall was just a 59.8 at that safety position. Anthony Jennings did well, and we got another call coming in. Hey, Mike, what's up? Mike in Kentucky.
Hey, Kyle, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How's your Sunday, Mike?
I'm pretty good. I'm getting up some firewood today. I'm a little tired, but I'm here.
Firewood in Kentucky? Yeah?
I'll burn wood.
Isn't it still like in the 90s over there like it is over here?
Well, it's September. It's getting down in the upper 60s at night down here, so it's time to start getting the wood up.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hear you. So what's on your mind, Mike?
Well, I think the best 5-0 linemen we're going to field this year will be Leatherwood at left tackle, Brown beside him. I'd move Chance Womack to center just because he's a grown man. He's a senior. He's battle tested, and I think you need a tough, hard-nosed guy in the middle to kind of glue things together.
Mm-hmm.
And on the left side, I'd go with the Florida State transfer at left guard and Jedrick Wills on the right tackle and the Florida State kid at right guard. I think that's the best lineup, but we won't know until Brown gets eligible to play.
Yeah, and I have to say, so I'm at practice, Monday through Wednesday, and I see Deontay Brown rolling on through. I mean, he is a massive man. He looks like a walking refrigerator, and he's really slimmed down. He's much more athletic, and I think when he gets when he gets back, he's certainly going to add an extra element to this rushing attack. He's a big body. He did a great job at the end of last year. He's slimmed down, and I think he's going to be hungry coming back. So I'd like to see what Deontay Brown can add, and he's going to be back right before Texas A&M, which is a great thing.
Yeah, this weekend's game, it was kind of hard to watch. and I had a lot of interest. I was flipping back and forth between the A&M Clemson game a lot because, I mean, like on the first play, it was already a yarner. Ruggs galloped 70-something yards down the sidelines. I'm like, okay, we know how this is going to end. But, Trevor Lawrence, I was watching him awfully close. Man, that guy's got the confidence of youth. He throws the ball down deep into double coverage all day long like it don't mean nothing to him. And it's going to catch up with him sooner or later. If he's that good, he's real good because, dude, he was slinging it downfield at double coverage all day. I'm like, man, I'm glad Tua's not doing that no more.
What has been your takeaway from the running game thus far, Mike?
Well, just once again, we just don't have the right guys out there right now. I think the best three run block.
So you think it's all attributed to the offensive line? You don't think it's anything to do with Najee or B-Rob?
No, not at all. I think the best three run blockers on the team are Womack, Brown, and that kid from Florida State. He's a bulldozer. That kid's huge.
Yeah.
It's like 6'6". I think those three guys in the middle of the line will solidify the run game with Leatherwood and Jedrick Wills on the tackle, manning the tackle positions. I think that's our best line.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to wait.
Yeah, I think so. I think Dickerson has been a great addition. If he can stay healthy, he's gonna be an important part to this offensive line. I think depending on.
I think he'll be a good player next year. I think he's just youth is not what you want for your down linemen. The upperclassmen, there are very few true freshman defensive linemen that can actually push an O lineman around. It's rare. There are a few guys step up every now and then, but it's rare. I think you need experience and maturity on the O line.
Yeah, and you're right. You have Evan Neal starting at the guard position right now, and
and he's a baby.
He's a baby. He's a big baby.
He's a big baby. Yeah, exactly. He's a big baby, but
6'7",
he's a baby. Those guys that have been around 3 years, can deal with his size.
Yeah,
but overall, I think they look good. Bama's going to be Bama, and it'll be like the run game won't be clicking until November, just like last year. Seems like last year started the same way this year's starting. Just got to develop some O-line chemistry, but the young linebackers are looking good, and the secondary looks really good. I'm happy, I'm pleased, but we ain't all the way there yet. South Carolina was crazy good on offense. I watched that game over the weekend. That kid, they get the ball out in space quick.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But I think we've got the talent at cornerback to counter that. They weren't playing much.
Now we'll see. It's a SEC opener on the road in Columbia. It's going to be hot. South Carolina. They got Alabama before in Columbia. So.
Yeah, I remember that game. I was out to eat with my lady, and I was watching the TV the whole time.
That was Steven Garcia completely balled out, right? Had the game of his life, the game of the millennium.
He went from problem child to Superman in one day. I was like, fluke, but whatever.
Hey,
it worked.
Yeah, it did. All right, good stuff, Mike. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Please call again next time.
All right, Kyle. Roll Tide to you, brother.
It's always great to hear from you. Good luck on the firewood.
Oh, I'll get it done. Later, brother.
See you, man. All right, Mike in Kentucky. Great caller. Always good energy. 205-686-3604. You know what to do. Hit me up. I was going through the grades, and if you missed it, here are the stats. We already looked at the stats for the New Mexico State game. Here are the stats for the season. Tua balling out, 563 yards in 2 games, which is crazy. Jerry Judy's number is crazy. 18 receptions, 240 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle still searching for that first touchdown. Almost had it with that punt return that was negated. Xavier McKinney leading the defense, 14 tackles. Raekwon Davis, 12 tackles. Shane Lee, 11 tackles. Yeah, so, the line for this weekend's game is already out. I think it's 25. Alabama's favored by almost 4 touchdowns. They're coming. That's a big line, right? But I think it's kind of confusing because I'm not sure what to expect from South Carolina. I mean, with the quarterback situation, I know they have a young gun coming in. I know they scored over 70 points last game, 700 yards of offense. But, I mean, against Charleston Southern, on the other hand, New Mexico State scored 62 against New Mexico State. What does it mean? I mean, it probably means that Alabama's really good and South Carolina is just average. I mean, I think it goes back to that first game when they lost to North Carolina. Even with, Bentley back at quarterback against Alabama, I still think Alabama's probably, a 3-touchdown favorite? So, I don't know. I mean, I think Alabama still rolls. Is it going to be by 25 points? Probably not, but I think Alabama will definitely get the job done. Here were 10 takeaways that I post every single Sunday on BamaInsider.com. You can read that. I talked about the big balance approach, just that Alabama's averaging 557 yards per game through 2 games with 52 points per game. It's kind of similar to last year. It's just not as explosive. By the way, have you seen what Loxley's been doing at Maryland? My goodness, jeez. How about Michigan under Gaddis? Army, I thought Army had him. If that freshman kicker would have hit it through the uprights, right, that would have been a meltdown. There was a lot of meltdowns. Maybe we should talk about meltdowns, right? Tennessee, yikes. What about Florida State? I thought they were going to lose. That kicker missed the PAT, right? That would have been a big meltdown. Colorado Buffs took down Nebraska. That was a thrilling game. I talked about the running game, how it was oddly efficient. NFL talent at the wide receiver position. We talked about the offensive line. Patrick Surtain continues to ball out. Freshmen all over the place. Alabama started 4 freshmen on defense against New Mexico State, which is really impressive. The pass rush, I feel it's improved, but we really haven't seen Alabama really have to put the throttle down, right? Anthony Jennings, Terrell Lewis, I think those guys are certainly going to come after quarterbacks. I mean, if Alabama really has to drop the hammer and bring those guys, I mean, it's going to be ridiculous because Terrell Lewis, he looks like a top 10 pick, right? Anthony Jennings looks like he's been killing it as well. I mean, those 2 guys coming off the edge, ferocious. Inside linebackers been solid. I write about how Alabama's, still untested. Will Reichard, everybody is completely thrilled with his performance on Saturday at Bryant-Denny Stadium, hitting a 49-yard field goal and a 48-yard field goal. By the way, the call line is open. Hit me up, 205-686-3604. SEC scoreboard, LSU defeated Texas 45-38. Joe Burrow, 31 of 39, 471 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Clemson defeated Texas A&M 24-10. Trevor Lawrence 24 of 35, 268 yards with 1 touchdown. Kellen Mond 24 of 42, 236 yards with 1 touchdown. Number 3, Georgia and Murray State were actually tied 7-7 in the first quarter. End result, Georgia 63, Murray State 17. Bulldogs scored 35 points in the second quarter. Jake Fromm 10 of 11, 166 yards with 1 touchdown. Auburn now 2-0. Defeated Tulane 24-6. Freshman Bo Nix 19 of 37, 207 yards. And another big performance by the young freshman. Florida got past UT Martin. Check out these numbers by Felipe Franks. 25 of 27, 270 yards with 2 touchdowns. Very good quarterback. He balls out. Missouri beat West Virginia 38-7. Kelly Bryant 17 of 25, 150 yards with 3 touchdowns. South Carolina beat Charleston Southern 72-10, 700 yards. Purdue beat Vanderbilt 42-24. Mississippi State, now 2-0, beat Southern Miss 38-15. BYU beat Tennessee, as we talked about, 29-26. Kentucky beat Eastern Michigan 38-17. Ole Miss 31, Arkansas 17. So those are your SEC scores. It's just that meltdown with Tennessee is I mean, it's brutal. If you look at Tennessee's schedule, I'm not sure how many games Tennessee's going to win this season, right? And someone said on social media, they're like, what if Alabama sent Jeremy Pruitt over to Tennessee to ruin the program? I mean, can you imagine, right? That's killer. So call line is open. If you want to call in, I'll leave the line open for just a few more minutes, and then I'll break out, and I'll catch you guys on Monday. We'll have Nick Saban's press conference on Monday. We're actually talking to Tua Tagovailoa and Jerry Jeudy, so we'll get those interviews posted right here on the YouTube channel. All the coverage back at BamaInsider.com. Why subscribe to BamaInsider.com, right? Well, you get tons of recruiting coverage. There's tons of premium coverage on BamaInsider.com that you're getting every single day. So give us a try. Go to BamaInsider.com. And when you hit subscribe, click the promo code ROLLTIDE, and you'll get free 30 days on us. So go to the website and check it out. Voodoo Wings now open in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Very good wings. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think they have $2 tall boys. So you can go in, get your drink on, and you can catch us Thursday night. We're at Voodoo Wings talking college football, and really excited about this next one as Alabama opens up SEC play against South Carolina. 205-686-3604. If I didn't get your call, you can call in. You can leave a voicemail. I'll play it on the show next time, or, I will connect with you another way. So my email is kyle@BamaInsider.com. You can follow me on Twitter, rivals_Kyle. That's where, but I mostly post the stuff back on BamaInsider.com, or I just come right here to YouTube. We built up a pretty good community on YouTube that I like to bring it to. So, how you doing? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Brandon from California.
Hey, what's up, Brandon? How you doing today, man?
How you doing? I'm doing well. Yourself?
Oh, doing great, man. Strong Sunday, man. What's on your mind?
For the main question, not really impressed with the running game. If you take away the big plays from Ruggs and, Tua and the other, second and third string running backs, Najee Harris and Brian Robinson only got 125 yards. Like, the commentators did state last week that Willis is the only, lineman from last year. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is pretty new. And, hopefully when Brown comes back in, it'll, solidify. And by that time, we'll have a set, lineman crew. But I'm starting to wonder about Sarkisian, because you can kind of tell that he's mainly a pass-happy coordinator. If you can remember the national championship against Clemson, the second one, when the running back, I forgot the main running back who came late at the end of that year. Mm-hmm. After he got hurt, we kind of stopped running as much. And hopefully, by mid-season and tail end of the season, we'll definitely have a stronger running game. But right now, the running game is just, an afterthought. And when you get to the big games of LSU, Mississippi State, even Auburn and Georgia, we can't be a one-track team. That's what Georgia, LSU, Mississippi State, and Clemson did. They knew that we were a mainly passing team, which you can't stop that, because how Tua and the wide receiving core, how dynamic they are. But you need a running game to actually balance that out. And right now, of course, we played Duke and New Mexico State, but we definitely should have had a stronger running game, especially with New Mexico State, than what we did yesterday.
Yeah, no. I appreciate the call. I'll comment on the other line. Please call again next time, okay?
Okay.
I think when you talk about the running game, I think from the calls that we've had tonight, I think it comes down to most of the callers have actually put it on the offensive line instead of the running backs. I think when you look at Najee Harris, and I'll be curious to see what Nick Saban says. He says that the running game was more improved from week 1 to week 2, but it seems like he's not following his blocks. Now, are the blocks where they need to be? That's probably a more high-level question for Saban and for Kyle Flood. I don't know. It just seems like at times that Najee Harris isn't moving fast enough, isn't hitting the hole hard enough. For example, let's look at the clip where Killen Robinson came out like shooting out like a cannon. Have we seen that from Najee Harris? Have we seen that from Brian Robinson? Are those guys capable to run at that sort of speed? I mean, maybe it's Jerome Ford, because there was a couple times where Jerome Ford looked like he was running and hitting the hole harder than Najee and Brian Robinson. Then again, you look at the averages for these big guys, and they're 230 pounds. Maybe the offense is predicated off, pounding the football 3 to 5 yards, and that's going to open up this short game passing tree, which has been highly efficient. I mean, maybe that's the case. Maybe we shouldn't be, looking for these big home run hits, and maybe it's more about just this power running game that's opening up these highly efficient passing trees for Tua Tagovailoa, who's been very, very dangerous under Sarkisian these first 2 weeks. I don't know. What do you think? 205-686-3604. If you guys want to talk, I'm here. And let me know. Here's the question of the day that I asked. Are you impressed with the running game? Straight up. Let me know. We've been talking about it a ton on BamaInsider.com, and we've been breaking it down. So offensive line, is it the running backs? I don't know. What up, everyone? Yeah, and a lot of people keep commenting, on Malay from, this is actually from Hawaii. Got this from Mitch in Hawaii. It's a caller from the 808, hooked me up last season, so I like to wear it, out of respect, and it means a lot to me, So I've seen that a lot in the comment box. So we'll just have to see what transpires against South Carolina, and if there are run game woes, or if that's something that we're just making up just to kind of critique something. But the passing game has been absolutely phenomenal. It's still shaking up a little bit in the defensive secondary. Pass rush, I think it's there, but Alabama really hasn't had to turn it on. Not much really to complain about. The kicking game looks to be there with Will Reichard. Saban was hot yesterday after the press conference, talking about the quality of competition. And Saban's right. I mean, he's like, hey, we'll play 10 conference games, 2 Power 5 teams. Bring it. You guys want to play. But there's a lot of teams out there that don't want that, because, right now it's all about the wins to get to the bowl games. Alabama can win those games. Can all these other programs survive? Can they win these games? Absolutely not, right? So Saban wants that. He wants competition. Now, at the same point, it's not like New Mexico State forced Alabama to take that game, right? It was 1.7, right? So, I mean, that's just where we are in college football. That's probably another, topic for another time. But, I think those two teams shouldn't have been on the field yesterday. And, but we're looking forward to the SEC opener. Hit me up if you guys are here. 205-686-3604. You guys can also leave a message for me. I'll play it on the show. As I always say at the end of the program, thank you so much to the men and women overseas protecting our freedom in the United States military. We sincerely appreciate what you do for this great country. And I always say, be good people too, man. You guys are out there. Doesn't cost anything to be a good person. So, you know where I'm coming from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I hope you guys have a strong week. Be productive. I will catch you guys on Monday with the Nick Saban press conference. Also have some practice news and notes, insider report on BamaInsider.com. Another call. All right, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Robert from Mobile.
Hey, what's up, Robert? How you been, man? Good to hear from you again.
Hey, yeah, I agree with everything you said about the way the running game is and the way Najee runs the ball too. I mean, he does. I guess if you want to say run angry, he doesn't seem to run angry, but it seems like it takes him a second or two to get going or hit the hole, and it always looks like it's a half second slow.
Yeah,
and we haven't been imposing our will on the lower teams right now, and that's getting a little frustrating to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think maybe Najee needs some sort of fire. And I'll tell you what, where we saw the fire from Najee? It was against Clemson. So maybe he's a guy that really just rises up, and maybe he's just not playing inspired football right now because it's Duke, it's in New Mexico State. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but the way he played against Clemson, I mean, that was impressive last year.
And in that championship game against Georgia, when they won the championship with Tua.
Yeah.
You thought he was one of the people that sparked it up.
There you go.
He's not looking like a next level running back right now.
Mm-hmm.
And man, you want to go to the NFL next year, right? As a junior in college. Well, then we need to see some next level runs out of you.
I know. Think about it. Have we seen a next level run from him? I mean, besides maybe that screen pass that was negated, I don't think it was a screen. I think it was a swing pass against Duke where he ran for 60 yards. It was negated because Chris Owens tackled someone. He didn't even break it. Actually, he got caught. But what have we seen in terms of a big time run from Najee so far?
Yeah, and then again, this is against lesser competition.
I think it's there though. I think it's there. We just haven't seen it yet.
And it's hate to think you have to get motivated because of the competition you're playing. Well, let's see it now. And then when you get tougher competition, it'll be really show when you're motivated. I was hoping to see a good 100+ yard rushing out of him yesterday, and so just definitely not like Damian and the running backs last year. They always he's always going to be, and he runs out from edge to edge instead of up the middle a lot, which is a little frustrating to see. I've saw a couple of runs where, hey man, if you just cut it back up the middle, upfield, you get more yards. It's more to the sideline. I don't know if he wants to save himself for Carolina and teams like that. I don't know.
I mean, he hasn't been hurdling anyone. That's the good news. Right? I mean, it looks like he's done with that. I think, it's kind of interesting because you look at, from where these guys are from a leadership perspective and where they are from a mental perspective. Because if you look back, both Brian Robinson and Najee Harris were suspended for that first quarter. Right. And then we haven't seen the production from these guys in the first or second game. So is it talent there? Absolutely. Are those the prototypical running backs that you see that are successful here? Absolutely. But in terms of the production, something is missing. And I really want to see what those guys can do if they can really turn up a gear, because it doesn't seem like things are clicking right now. There's no fluidity. Those guys just don't seem to be inspired. Anything else on your mind while you're on the line, Robert?
Yeah, I heard you also say that maybe Alabama has sabotaged Tennessee with Jeremy Pruitt.
Right? I mean, what else could it be? Jeez. I mean, Phil Firmer, right, is like talk about, I can't even imagine what's going through his head right now. It's
I guess who do you think is LSU? You think that's a fluke, or Burrows has improved. It's okay. Passes yesterday that he never would have thrown last year, so he's definitely improved. I think Texas is a better team too.
Yeah, he looked good last night. I mean, Texas looked good. Joe Burrow. I mean, LSU. They're going to come into Bryant Denny. I'm looking forward to that game, and hopefully he can continue that level of play. I mean, there would be nothing better than seeing LSU come in fully healthy, playing a fully healthy Alabama. I mean, that would be. The college game day certainly would be in Tuscaloosa. But I appreciate the call. Please call again next time. It's always great to hear from you, Robert.
All right, man.
All right. Good stuff. All right. Well, it's been a great show. I sincerely appreciate you guys calling in. It means a lot, for you guys to make time out of your Sunday evening to call into the show and catch up with me on, on the call-in show. So you can leave a voicemail to be played at the next show. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much for following us. All the coverage back at BamaInsider.com. Be good people. I will catch you guys next time. I'll be back tomorrow with Nick Saban's press conference and much more coverage at BamaInsider.com. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, this is Kyle Henderson call-in show talking Alabama Crimson Tide football. Talk to you guys soon. Be good people. Catch up with you soon. Thanks.